Today will be the absolutely last time we ever have a guest on from the Niagara Workforce Planning Board. No, we're not cutting ties with them, but the organization is rebranded with a new name. Rachel Crane is our guest. Rachel, Workforce Collective, does this signal a new focus for the organization?
That is a good question, Mike. So we have been evolving, I'd say, over the last 5 years, like pretty accelerated evolution story. But the last 20 years before that was kind of like, it was always the planning board activities, data collection analysis of labor market trends. So it was kind of like that. There's a period of organizational transformation about 5 years ago that started. And this rebranding was like a natural part of that in the next, to bring us into the next iteration of our organization.
Workforce Collective is the new name. So
Yep.
What does that signify? How did you come up with that name?
Yeah, a lot of thought and intention, as you can imagine. It's a lot of names are taken, first of all. In this day and age, the .ca.com is a big part of, how do we actually communicate and what URL can we get. A lot of names are taken, and also we knew that we wanted to have some elements, like workforce is really important to core to what we do in our mission. But Niagara, we were okay to let go of because we do work in Niagara. We're very local focused, but we also work beyond. So we have some national level activities and projects right now that we did want to shine the light on and help people just to learn more about and consider us as being working in Niagara, but beyond as well. And collective really signals that we're very collaborative. Nothing that we do happens without partners.
Well, your board itself is very collaborative because you have
Yeah.
representatives from the business sphere,
Exactly.
unions, also colleges and universities.
Yep.
So it always has been a very collective organization.
Yeah. And now, like, even more so, I'd say. So we're taking it to your point about, what's kind of changing. We're really focusing on the doing part. So we've been around the data, we've seen the trends, we've analyzed it for years and years. We've seen what's coming. We could have probably predicted all the labor shortages that we're having now due to population dynamics.
Right.
We knew that, right? Decades ago. And so we've been around the what, like what's happening in the labor market. Now we're like the so what. So what do we do about it? Why is this happening?
Well, you mentioned some national initiatives that you hope to or have already started. Yep. What are some of those?
We're working with employers. So like you said, we work with very diverse employers all across Niagara and beyond. This one is we're engaging employers to talk about what are their needs in terms of employing immigrants and newcomer talent. So they're diversifying their workforce segment and need support. So we collect data from them. What are their barriers, needs, challenges, opportunities? And then we're feeding that back to our partners across Canada and also up to the levels of government, like IRCC, so Immigration, Refugees, Citizenship Canada. So they can really roll out some new systems and strategies to support employers, to get connected with newcomers, and hopefully lead to more equitable employment outcomes.
Workplace well-being is another focus.
Yeah, we really sense that it's never been more important than it is right now, with mental health crises, being as they are on the rise, as well as mothers leaving the workforce due to childcare, lack of childcare for them, and care for the family defaulting onto working mothers. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, we include in that well-being kind of conversation as being, we have to feel psychologically safe in the workplace, included in the workplace, a sense of belonging. Also, we're looking into issues like affordable housing and food security. These are big issues in our community now, and so we're wondering what's the intersection of employment? Like how do people come to work and engage in work if they don't have, full bellies or roofs over their heads, and also how do they, have more affordable housing or sustainable
Right.
housing without income? They're very intertwined.
That is a really big change in focus when I look at it, because again, when I thought of the Niagara Workforce Planning Board, I thought about the statistics, I thought about predictions, but I didn't really think about the connections to these other issues at the time. But I know we always would turn to you for information leading to, I guess linking to some of the other issues.
Yeah.
This really brings it all together.
Yes, thank you. You're such a teacher, Mike, but you're also a learner. That's key. So thanks for being open-minded to these changes and kind of, you're on the page of where we hope that most people will be. That's why we rebranded. we really are different now. There's a lot that we're doing that's the same, but we are, evolving and shifting focus to what our community needs.
Visiting us here today is, I guess, part of the strategy of getting the word out that you are changing, not just the image, not just the name, but more about what you're doing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What other efforts are you doing to get the word out?
Well, we were just at the Economic Summit hosted by the GNCC in the region. So we still want to be at the forefront of those economic conversations. A lot of change makers in the room, a lot of powerful people and leaders. So we wanted to be there to talk about these workforce issues, and it was a great day that we did that. A lot of people were there. We're also, we rolled out a new website. We have a totally different look, so you can see behind me here, new logo and just photos of familiar faces and people at work in Niagara. Lots that we're doing with photo and video as well. Newsletters and newspapers and
Well, we want to congratulate you on this rebranding, on this new focus, and good luck to you and Vivian Kennard and the rest of the staff.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.